Hello, happy Sunday. Marissa here, popping in for our weekly card pull for the collective, bringing in the intuitive tarot and oracle card messages along with healing elements, some astro tidbits, and more to help you through your week. If you are watching this on my Empowerment Sharecast on the Marco Polo app, you know what we do here. If you're seeing this on one of my social media spaces, this is a sampling of what I have over there on my free Empowerment Sharecast. And this is where we tap in using our tools, the tarot, oracle decks, a lot of these goodies that we see here. We've got a huge altar today because we've got a big week coming in. So I invite you to meet me over there to check out some of the additional offerings I'm able to do outside of the noise of social media. Over there, you can request a free card pull just for you for the week ahead that will build on the messages that we're going to bring forward. So as I come in here, it is March 17th. So it is noted as St. Patrick's Day by many. And of course, it's a day 17, bringing in that number of abundance, of good fortune, of luck. 1 + 7 = 8. So we meet again at that place where we are moving through this year with an abundance of potential for manifestation. And so the new beginnings don't stop there, because this week we have a lot of things happening. We have the astrological new year kicking off the same day as we move into Aries season. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit about each of those today, letting you know about the special offers that I have going, to invite you to join me there as well. Also sneaky peek at the deck I'm going to be using for the spring equinox readings that I am offering. This is the beautiful spring weight tarot from Tarot Collectibles, and it is an extra special glittery one with the stars edition. So it is loaded with spring vibes and beautiful energy, quite true to the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, but lots of sparkle and shine. And so I am going to be offering a very special reading I do each year for spring equinox as well as autumn equinox. So not to leave out my friends in the Southern Hemisphere. Having a shortage of ink, but wanted to print this just to show you a quick peek at it being this beautiful 6-card spread where we weave in messages for equinox, for the spring, around the death and passage of what has passed for you this past season, the perennial for what renews for you now, the decay and fertilizer for how that passage that has gone by will fertilize what comes next. And then we move into the final 3 positions to tend and cultivate that new that's coming forward, the annual, which represents what do I plant next to start fresh, and then to plot and plan, we have how best to prepare to ensure that it thrives. Now, all of these readings will also have a host of healing altar elements. I'll be bringing in intuitively selecting decks for a color, crystal, and spirit animal to help you in this season. And same goes for the autumn equinox, where again, we're going to follow through with this 5-card spread that has a look at what you have planted that will be coming forward in harvest, what you can do now to ensure your most bountiful harvest, what changes you should be preparing for, what you must shed in order to preserve your energy, and then how you can connect further with this season. I also have specially selected oracle decks that will be bringing in bonus messages for you from your higher self and guides and much more. So I will be sharing a link to more info on my website where you can snag one of those. I have a limited number of spaces available because it is so busy and crazy, and before we know it, it's going to be time for the full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th. So of course, I will be busy with the Empowerment Pack readings for that as well. So pushing it all in here into the frame, I'm starting to bring in the spring equinox energy. I have a beautiful fountain with flow happening over here. I'm pulling forward the Merlin healing energy sprays. I love to bring in Merlin's energy when I'm wanting to connect in with nature. And beautifully, this one, Nature's Woodland Brew, is really for nature spirits, portal spray, and then also connecting with mentorship and ascended master energy with Merlin through both of these beautiful healing energy sprays by Angelic Celestial Colors, all a part of the Metatron color healings that I offer as well. So there's a whole bunch going on for spring. I bring forward a spring cleaning, color healing for you, a chakra alignment, energetic cord cuttings, and more offerings all on my website. So getting all of that out of the way, let's dive into these cards. So we're going to talk a little bit about Aries season when I break into the energetic weather report for this week. We roll right into that over on my Empowerment Sharecast. And we are going to get our 5-card spread out here for Monday through Friday, along with a beautiful oracle card message that we're going to ask for to note Equinox and Aries season kicking off with a special message there as well. So let's start shuffling up this beautiful deck, the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed by Lalania Simone. We've been using this deck all month, and it really is spectacular. I've really been enjoying the beautiful messages that have been coming forward. I hope you have too. So now let's breathe into new beginnings. I know it's been a watery Pisces season. We may be feeling a little waterlogged through all the emotions and all that has bubbled up. I shared some messages on the Sharecast on Friday from my chariot. I like to pop in with some thoughts and reflections when I'm done my yoga class on Friday. And so I did pop in. Oh, look at this beautiful card popping over here. Strength. How perfect, as I mentioned, the 8-year. 8 is the strength card. And here's that 7 of Pentacles. That is a card that had been coming up for so many people because it was the card of pause, patience, reflection. That was a card that told us to really take a moment to recalibrate, to see, I see all this, all this last gasp of Pisces energy popping in here. That was the Nurturer of Cups. Just really thinking about the fact that we've been coming through this very intentional pause and reflection. And that's what those cards were just reminding me of is, the energy of inner strength and tapping into that strength energy for this year and how that continues to be our overarching energy for 2024. But of course, again, we have another new beginning with the real new year start here with the astrological new year beginning with Aries season. So let's get some cards out here, starting with Monday to kick our week off. What is coming forward for us collectively? We tap in, setting this intention for our highest and best guidance, and that these messages are for all who come upon them whenever you come upon them. And you're always invited to take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a collective reading. There's always someone there to pick it up, and it's always fascinating to hear all of the ways that it comes forward for each of us throughout the week. I always love to hear your feedback on that. All right. Oh my gosh. If you have been here, this is now the 3rd week that this card has come forward, except it started down here at the end of the week, right? It started at Thursday, Friday, and now it's moving to the number 1 position for Monday. So that's very interesting because this was really talking to us about our tribe, the people that we connect with, and celebrating each of our unique, diverse aspects that we bring to the table, the different cups of tea. So, wow, I love that that's just rotating through here as a swan song for Pisces season. So we'll get into that, why that might be coming up in the Monday position. Now, Tuesday, which is the 19th, which is the day of equinox, as well as when we move into Aries season, we're tapping in here to a potential block or challenge this week. So as we transition from Pisces to Aries, from one season to another, what is coming forward as a potential block or challenge this week? 5 of coins, 5 of pentacles. Okay, yeah, I feel that. So we'll get into that. Frequency of 5 is change. 5 can be confusion and also a bit of chaos at times. So as that fiery energy starts to come in, there's a potential for us sort of getting clear on what doors are closing and opening for us and where that stands. So we'll tap into that. Wednesday is a midweek blessing. So what's coming forward for our Wednesday midweek blessing? the Hermit. Wow. This card came up over the first lunation, the last lunation of February. Yeah. Okay. I'm like trying to get all my moon cycles clear. I believe the Hermit came up there. No, it was the first lunation. Yeah, it was when we tapped in on stars and cards. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to feel into that. The blessings of, this feels like, you know, that Pisces new moon was really bringing in for us some serious seeds to be planted for the rest of this whole year, not just through that moon cycle. And so as we gear up to the full moon in Libra, which is a lunar eclipse coming in on the 25th of this month, what does the Hermit want to show us, that inner reflection for these seeds we have planted and the time we have spent in this reflective pause? Yeah. All right. We'll tap into that. Thursday is going to be how we are growing. Wheel of Fortune, you bet. The wheel turns, right? And we're moving into a new season, a new time, and definitely feeling that shift. Beautiful card. And Friday wraps us up. So we've got 2 major arcana here so far. So that's the significant energy that's coming in and really setting a tone too for Aries season. Hermit and Wheel of Fortune, which are also sequential. So interesting, 9 and 10. Okay, Friday wrapping it up. What's coming forward there? Oh, we were... Let's see it out the door on the final day of the week. Like I said, the 7 of coins, 7 of pentacles. This is the one that peeked at us at the beginning where I said so many people have been getting this card. And in fact, if you did see the little Sunday self-care message I shared today with 4 of my Nature Speaks affirmation cards, patience was one of them. And I know that a couple people have already said that's the one that was really speaking to them, this energy of patience, of allowing for time and season, right? And these cards are really speaking to me together, the Wheel of Fortune and the 7 of coins. So we're going to get into it over on the Empowerment Sharecast. Again, the link, if you're watching this on social media, will either be in the caption, or always feel free to comment. Let me know, reach out with a message, and I'll get you over there if you haven't gotten there yet. It's also always in my bio. This is where you can request a free personal card for you that will go along with all of these messages that we're just about to dive into. One more. We've got to pull our Oracle card. Okay. Yes. The Oracle of Awakening. Another beautiful deck by Lalania Simone. We are setting an intention here for Aries season and the new spring or autumn seasons that we are moving into now, for a message here from the Oracle of Awakening. A message for us collectively. Oh, baby, you bet. Rebirth, metamorphosis, new beginnings. It's all happening. Wow, what a beautiful and quite appropriate card. All right, guys, let's get going. We're going to roll in now and check out these messages. Let's take a look. All right, let's kick some things off here with the energetic weather report for this week. And you can see it's about as busy as this altar right now. We've got a lot going on. Just to note here a few of the things as I'm coming in today on March 17th, I want to highlight the Sun conjunct Neptune. So this is another creative and inspiring day. And there's a bit of a theme brewing here this first half of the month, because we've had all of this dreamy, creative, and ethereal energy that's been flowing through with Pisces season, of course, and now Neptune aligning with the Sun in Pisces can bring in waves of creative inspiration our way. I know that I was working today on getting all of anything that even remotely resembles a snowman or a snowflake had to get put away here. You know, we've had some beautiful warm weather this weekend, which is abruptly coming to an end. March isn't over yet, so we've still got some cool temps coming in here, but I did not want to cast any more spells with signs around that said, let it snow or welcome winter. So I've been working on just doing a little spring clear of those things and getting out some of my spring decor and elements that I like to bring in. And so I was feeling a little creative, putting up my little bunnies and eggs and other things around just to kind of usher in the rebirth energy coming in here this week. So I'm feeling this. I was definitely connecting in and have been connecting in with this energy today. So, but like always with Pisces and Neptune, we're cautioned to look at, yes, we want this creative inspiration, dreamy, but we want to be mindful of those rose-colored glasses, right? Sometimes things can appear to be too good to be true, or we might not be looking at an entire picture. So there's just a balance to come in there to, yes, allow your creativity to take the lead, but be mindful of making any long-lasting decisions here on this day. So trust your intuition. If something feels off, listen. Follow that energy. So March 18th, Monday, kicking the week off, Mercury enters shadow phase. Yes. Okay. So we have enjoyed 0 major planets in retrograde for the last month, but now Mercury is going to begin slowly starting to slow down and prepare for its retrograde happening on April 1st. So Mercury in retrograde, right? While this energy is subtle to begin with, it's just something to pay attention to. Mercury, the messenger. We can pay attention to signs and messages of the universe around this time. So if you're dealing with any contract negotiations or communication issues, travel plans, those types of things, be sure to do your homework, because oftentimes when Mercury is preparing to go retrograde, more information can come to light, right? Bringing those things around. So now, March 19th, this is the day, this week, that is the start of all the new and the rebirth energy that's coming in. We have Equinox and the start of the astrological year with Aries season beginning. So this is quite the powerful and magical day of the year. We're going to be welcoming in the start of the new astrological new year and the start of Aries season, as well as having Equinox. So this is where the energy grid of the planet is alive and well, because we're celebrating equal hours of night and day. So this will bring in the beginning of spring or autumn, depending on where you are in the world. So with that energy, Aries season is also beginning. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about Aries on the other side of this astro report. I want to dive in a little bit into that energy and set the tone for you for the season. But it is going to bring a lot of fresh energy, strong energy that's really encouraging us to begin again. Wipe the slate clean. This is a new year opportunity, right? A new cycle. So as we start this new astrological year, it's a very powerful time to set goals and intentions for the new cycle ahead. Now, I'm really going to get into this in the Equinox readings that I'm offering. So that special is available. It'll continue to be available throughout the season. Just kicking it off, I'll be tuning into the Equinox energy when I pull the altar elements of the color, crystal, and spirit animal to support, and then dive into those spreads that I shared during the card pull. And I will really get into it there on ways that you can work with the Equinox energy and some other tidbits to help support you along with your personal messages that will come through from the spreads. So then March 21st, moving right along through the week, Venus conjunct Saturn. So Venus and Saturn come together in Pisces, which is rather deep and meaningful, this energy. So it's a time to really get real with how we're feeling. So we're still in the feels, right? That's been a big message through Pisces season. It continues to be a major message throughout 2024 about getting into the heart, dropping into the heart. How do we feel? So Saturn, however, wants us to take a practical approach when it comes to matters of the heart, right? So there's a practicality here, and maybe even stepping up and taking some responsibility for our actions in a current situation. So I mentioned during my chariot chat here on the Sharecast a couple polos back from Friday when I talked about the reflection pool, right? And how a lot of people are experiencing relationship dynamics of all kinds. And so here is another aspect coming forward, Venus conjunct Saturn, to help us with stepping into a place of number one, a little more compassion and grace, but this Saturn energy is saying about taking responsibility, right? Taking responsibility for our actions and the role that we play in our relationships. So that also feels, a rather meaningful aspect that we can tune into, as well as relationships just continue to be coming to the fore, and that's just going to keep building up to this eclipse coming in on the 25th in Libra. March 22nd, Mars in Pisces. So Mars now enters the dreamy sign of Pisces, helping to bring a softening to any tense or heightened emotions, right? Because Mars, that planet of war and fire and all that masculine energy, a little softening coming in here with watery Pisces. So while we can use this energy to help activate our calm, maybe cool and diffuse a situation, it can sometimes also lead to sluggishness or a lack of motivation. So a little push-pull there, right? So don't push yourself too hard under this energy. Just allow yourself to flow. So continue to flow. And again, these are just things in the backdrop to be aware of, little energetic weather passing through as we also connect in with the cards and the intuitive messages. So we'll have those coming right up. First, I want to talk about Aries for Aries season and get into our oracle card message before we dive into our tarot messages. So let's take a look. All right, let's start at the beginning. A very good place to start. This is card 1 for a reason. So this is a beautiful card from the Astrological oracle deck, and it's number 1 because Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So this is where we're ushering in new beginning, rebirth energy into our year, with Aries season arriving on Tuesday, the 19th of this week. So Aries here has this message of act, and it talks about how Aries brings forward asking us to remember our personal fire. It's a fire sign. It's all about action. So your reasons for being alive, coming back forward, like what makes me feel lit up. And so it pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. It rules the head and imbues initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, and rebirth. And so the sun will shine here from March 20th to April 20th. So this deck gives us for each sign an action, a challenge, and a gift. So feeling into the action of Aries for this season, it says begin. Simply begin, right? Move into new territory. Cut to the chase. Be a hero. Feel the call to action and thoughtfully respond. Clear the air and clear the decks, right? New beginnings. Be crisp and to the point. Shoot from the hip. Set healthy boundaries just by being vibrantly alive. Express affection enthusiastically, spontaneously, and passionately. Work in short, intense bursts rather than long periods of deep concentration. Aries activates our inner adolescent. Direct orders can set off knee-jerk rebellion. So instead of telling others what to do or how they feel, express your own experience and opinion and speak in I terms. Set a challenge and let others find their own answers. Make sure all sides feel heard. If a person feels torn between meeting their own needs, meeting another's, they'll take care of their own needs first. So don't set this up as an either-or situation. Aries energy boils over quickly. If a situation threatens to erupt in conflict, get out, take a break, and come back later. So those tips can certainly be brought into all of this influence on relationships that we see coming as well. Now the challenge says, accidents increase when you are in a hurry, rushing through a project, impatiently distracted. This flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration, proceed with caution, right? So there's that potential for that fiery outburst energy to be mindful of. Now, the gift of Aries. Aries marks the beginning of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. After a long, dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. Feel the flowing inner life force. Trust this divine direction and summon the courage to begin. So I love that. Begin and act, right? And, just feeling that inner fire and really helping to foster that fire so that it burns the long burn, right? The long burn. We don't want to just knee-jerk react. We don't want to come out there, with our horns down, ramming into everything, right? I often say about this sign, get your rams in a row, right? This is a time for us to line things up and get really clear about what we are creating. We've had this long, dreamy, creative time in Pisces season to really dream up and imagine and feel into what we want to create. And now we're going to be given this burst of fuel and energy to begin and act. So, looking forward to see where that brings each of us throughout this incoming season. Let's go ahead now and kick off our cards for the week. All right, let's kick off our card pull messages for the week with this oracle card that was inspired by Equinox and the arrival of Aries season. So how perfect is it that we pulled the card of rebirth, the card that denotes metamorphosis and new beginnings? Because in fact, the wheel is turning this week and we are moving into a new season and a new astrological year. So rebirth from the Oracle of Awakening brings forward this gorgeous card with this affirmation. I am ever evolving. I am growing smarter, wiser, and more enlightened every moment. And it's a message to let you know that there is something being born in you, so create space for its arrival. So this is a time for us to think about spring cleaning or autumn clear out, this time for us to kind of go through and air things out from the prior season and to really get clear on what is staying and what is going, what is no longer serving, and energetically creating space, which is a message to the universe that we are ready. We are ready for the new that is waiting to be birthed. When a rebirth is imminent, it is generally tied to a death of some sort. It may happen as the result of a relationship ending, or the end of a job, or even the death of a loved one. Or maybe it's not as obvious as these examples. There are small shifts in who we are becoming that are less noticeable. But these small changes accumulate over time and will eventually result in a larger, more noticeable transformation. There are many opportunities for rebirth throughout our lifetimes. To the Egyptians, the winged scarab beetle represented rebirth and renewal. The mythology spoke of the sun being pushed across the sky every day by a giant scarab, the god 𝓘𝓷𝓽𝓾. If this card has come up for you, it may be a signal that you are at the end of a cycle, or that there is some sort of closure or death process happening in one or more aspects of your life. Often when we are feeling crunchy, stressed, or out of alignment, or overly emotional, there is something asking for your attention so that it can be released. The eventual result of this release is the rebirth, and you without the energy that was not serving you. You are or will soon be in a new beginning, a fresh start of some kind. Rejoice at the prospect of rebirth. You are entering the unknown. You are going to grow in new ways. Celebrate your journey. Acknowledge what you've been through and how far that you have come. I have to say, this card does give me eclipse vibes, right? This came up for someone I remember in their month ahead reading for the empowerment pack for this month. I remember talking about this card and this feeling of things being crunchy, things being just there's a tension, there's an energy of being off kilter, off balance in some way. And, when we're able to still and really reflect on, what feels aligned, what no longer feels aligned, or what it is that's feeling heavy or tight or suffocating, in our life, whether it's something that's taking a ton of our energy, like a time suck, or something that's really draining of our energy, things that we've been participating in that maybe served us before, that we may have previously enjoyed, but actually we're no longer coming back from those activities, those people, those places, those things, feeling invigorated, energized. We're actually feeling quite the opposite. And so that is an indication of something that is looking to be cleared from your life. So give yourself the gift of clearing out and creating space, because this is what will prepare you. If you feel like, when is it going to happen, or something is taking a really long time, take a look around to see what might be gumming up the works, what might be cluttering up the birth canal, right? Like, we have something to birth here, but there's stuff in the way. There's stuff between me and where it is that I want to be. Or maybe I don't even know yet what that looks like, so I'm starting to set some things into motion to prepare. But like I said, this is giving me eclipse vibes with the beautiful card here. And so I know that a lot is going to start moving and shaking with these transformative eclipses coming in, starting with just next week with the lunar eclipse in Libra. So, hold on too, because like I said, relationships being sort of highlighted there. And again, with that word crunchy, with the idea that there could be some where there are some of those types of challenges. Some of the best advice we were given about sort of, being in that place of compassion, along with looking at taking responsibility for the role that we play. So I feel like that's a message that will continue to unfold throughout, certainly eclipse season, Aries season, and as we step into the new spring, autumn seasons as well. So now let's get into our 5-card spread. All right, we are kicking off our messages for the week from the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed with, officially, 3 times is like a frequent flyer here, okay? We have gotten for 3 weeks in a row the 3 of Cups in our spread, and it's actually been moving along from Thursday, how are we growing, Friday, wrapping up the energy for the theme of the week, and now kicking things off this week on Monday. But Monday's also the last day of Pisces season, which is the water element, such as the Cups suit is as well. So really bringing in sort of this finale to all of that watery energy, but it's not the end of the feels, right? We haven't reached the bottom of the teacup here, if we will, because we are definitely continuing to delve deeper into the realm of relationships and connection. And the 3 of Cups is that card of friendships and sisterhood and support and camaraderie and tribe. And so, this does highlight for us, again, relationships, the people with whom we gather, the people that we connect with in many different ways. So yes, it can be connecting with friends and support systems to lean into our relationships. It does talk about celebrations. You might, it can be as practical as having a lunch date, meeting up with friends, gathering in some way, or even celebrating a milestone or something with a friend, meeting new friends. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. As I say that, I have to say, because I share on here so much about stars and cards and my connection with my beautiful soul sister, Mila. Well, on this day, it is a year since we found each other on the World Wide Web. So this is too funny. I was just, as I said that about celebrating meeting new friends and milestones with friends, it's our friendiversary. So hello. And I have so many beautiful sisters that I have met around the world because of this work and because of stepping out. And it just gets me that they've got their teacups on their head. And so it reminds me of, just sort of putting yourself out there with all your eccentricities and your quirkiness and your, your cup of tea, whatever lights you up, and finding your people, right? And if you haven't yet, or if you find yourself sitting at a virtual table where you no longer feel aligned, this is the time for us, again, to be looking at the ways in which our relationships are serving us or not, and where we wish to be. So I really feel, again, I'm really hammering this because this is the third time that it has come up in the 3 weeks. So it really is coming in a lot, so that if you are feeling strained or struggling in any way when it comes to tribe and community and togetherness, friendships, this is a card that can also speak to the energies of feeling solitary or growing apart from different circles, or even FOMO, and I'll talk about FOMO in the potential blocker challenge this week as well. But there's FOMO and JOMO, right? The fear of missing out, the joy of missing out, and recognizing that not everybody is for us or every cup of tea, and so I feel this card has really beautifully been demonstrating, the people that are in our orbit, and the idea of, really feeling into how those relationships and those interactions have helped us to bloom and grow. And if we are feeling stifled or in some way our cups are not being filled, then that is the call. This is the clearing that we're talking about to create space. And when you do that, you will call in more aligned people, places, and things into your life. So if there's any sense of rejection or being on the outs or doors that have closed, like I said, this is all leading up to the Tuesday card. This is really being highlighted for us in a way of really witnessing this beautiful opportunity for us to really align our connections and relationships in a way that feels truly soul-filling, and really feeling like we are being nourished and filled through our interactions and relationships with others. And again, we got a lot of guidance throughout the astrological weather report as well about ways that we have a role to play there, that we are asked to stand up and step into this energy of taking responsibility for the roles that we play in those relationships, and for really getting clear on our boundaries, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, the energies that we are giving and the energies we are receiving. So that's definitely a very specific message that's coming in for a number of people right now, as we know relationships are being really heightened and shown the spotlight at this time as we move into, and now soon to be through, moving in to eclipse season. So let's go ahead and take a look at Tuesday's energy for the potential block or challenge this week. All right, now we take a look at Tuesday for our potential block or challenge this week. And of course, it is the 19th. Equinox, Aries season, new astrological year, etc., all the things coming in here at the same time as this 5 of coins or 5 of pentacles, which is going to connect us in with the earth element and the energy of feeling safe, secure, material things, yes, money, health, our abundance, and how are we feeling about that. And so this is a card, as I mentioned with the Monday energy, that I often feel that sense of FOMO, because fear of missing out, because there is this sense of being on the outs. There's this warm, beautiful window here, the stained glass window, where it seems like it's all happening and I'm on the outside. So it feels like there can be a sense of either rejection, not getting an invite, a door not opening for us or being closed to us. There is a sense of a rejection potential, but there's also always a reminder of our doors, the doors that are meant for us that will open, and the opportunity that there's a key just there that we could be missing through this sense of loss. And so that brings in JOMO, the joy of missing out, that we don't always have to be at every party, event, situation, or something that we really thought was what was going to happen, what we wanted to happen, and it seems that it's not to be, right? And there's a degree of disappointment that we're moving through. And yes, this can highlight finances, money, resources, and feeling a scarcity. So, that can be a heavy feeling, feeling unprepared perhaps for something unexpected when it comes to home, job, health, all of those different things that can flare up in our lives, part of our fool's journey. But a reminder that the resources that we need are always within us. So the guidance is to keep calm and know that you will weather this storm, that you can ask for help. Here's this tribe coming back over and over and over again. Are you allowing others to help you, to support you? There may be something that a little nugget of knowledge or a resource or a referral or anything that somebody could offer you that, yes, it may feel vulnerable to need help or to ask for help. And we may not be comfortable doing that. But I feel that there's this encouragement here to open up. And, to remember that there are resources there that, not to allow yourself to pass them by, because there could be something in there, a little coin, a little nugget, a little something that's there for you to uncover. So I think that, if you're feeling a sense of loss or a sense of something not working out the way that you had hoped or thought it would, to go back over that and to see where perhaps there is actually an opportunity here that's being highlighted for you through the perceived blockage, through the sense of perhaps worry or lack. But also if you are actually feeling unwell, if you're moving through an injury or an ailment or something to that. Last week was, as you may know if you were here, all about the dental work and the dental visits. And I know for some people that's continuing into this week. Okay, so the sense of loss or the sense of something, and I'm not laughing because it's funny, I'm laughing because it was just unbelievable how many people have been moving through dental things. And again, this is all part of the stuff that we need to clean up and clear out in order for us to operate at our optimal, and just speaking specifically of dental, how connected the mouth is with our whole body's health and how important that is, but often one that's quite neglected because, let's be honest, it costs a lot of pentacles. Dental work is no joke when it comes to the cost, for sure. So, just that's a very specific message, but I know that it impacts so many of you. But there's just a reminder that the doors that activate magical opportunities are always opening for you. Stay open to know that what is meant for you will never pass you by, so that if something feels like a loss or a miss or something, closing or not opening for you, to allow yourself to shift into checking from different angles and perspectives to see wherein lies the jewels, because there's always a glimmer of something in there to help light the way forward, to help you find that key to that door that is meant for you. Let's take a look now at the Wednesday energy. All right, our Wednesday energy denotes our midweek blessing, and we have our first of two major arcana cards this week. We have number 9, the Hermit, and this is such a beautiful version of just looking from within that cave out into that big world with that massive full moon and the energy of the inner lantern, the inner light, and really connecting in with stillness and going within. Now this does feel very connected to again, I feel like, and I see that flower of life pattern as well, if that's coming up here on the screen. So it's reminding me with the moon here. It's so funny because when this card came up in the card pull, I was right away, I was like, this just came up in one of the lunations, and I couldn't remember which one at first. And now I remember, yes, it did come up in one of the series of card pulls that I did during that week of the new moon in Pisces, which, was so much about the seeds that we are planting, which called for us to take a lot of time reflecting and going within and connecting in with our own inner light and inner wisdom, which is in fact the Hermit. But we see here, the flower of life is reminding me then of those seeds that were planted that are working beneath the soil, working behind the scenes to create this network, this map that is creating your future, right? That you're already seeding, that you are already nurturing and fostering, and in some time and space, it already is. And so this is what we're saying about, what is meant for me will never pass me by. Even though we may not yet see the fruits of those labors or see the harvest that has come forward yet, this is really a reminder that I feel building up to the full moon now as we see it here. We had a new moon in Pisces that we were talking about, the hermit energy coming forward to go within, to reflect, to follow our inner light. We're planting seeds, we're setting intentions. Now the wheel turns and we're moving ever closer to the first eclipse of the year, with the lunar eclipse with the full moon in Libra coming up next week on the 25th. And so that is feeling again like the next step in that wheel turning, which is coming right up here next. We have card 9 and then card 10 coming right in with how we are growing. I think that people are really going to start to feel this initial Aries season burst of activation of energy happening with this fire, starting to see some of those seeds producing a little something that starts to really build up a little sense of things are growing in the right direction. So this is a blessing to really feel the energy of, what's coming forward for us from this downtime, from this space that we've made for self-reflection, for the healing work that you've been doing, bringing forward this opportunity to apply this wisdom that you have been cultivating. So let's go ahead and turn that wheel and see what's coming up now for Thursday. Okay, Thursday's energy denotes how we are growing. So here in our collective spread, we have a most perfect card, the Wheel of Fortune. This is card 10 of the major arcana, the subsequent card after the Hermit. And it is such a powerful symbol of exactly what we are moving through this week. All these wheels within wheels within wheels are turning, right? We have the new seasons, we have the new astrological year setting off. There's so much happening here and I love we see this growth coming in, because this is a card that's very much about a fortuitous turn of events. This is like destiny, fortune energy, cycles and changes, but things that are very much a part of fated changes, and it's a card of good luck and fortune coming your way. I'm saying this to you on St. Patrick's Day, also a day with the frequency of the number 8 with 1 + 7, bringing in this energy of abundance and manifestation and luck and good fortune. And so is this. So this really feels like an opportunity for us to embrace this energy. And yeah, this could be coming on the other side of perhaps quite a challenging time, a hardship, especially if you've really been going through it in the fields throughout Pisces season, or doing a lot of healing work, or looking at all that has been churned up that maybe even now you are still moving through. This is a card of hope to say 10 is endings, but also new beginnings. So, with this energy of something leaving in order for something new to come in, this is what we're talking about. We have what we've been carrying. These two sets of hands are really speaking to me, because it's like, what can I pick up new if my hands are full? If I'm holding on to all this old stuff, I can't fit anything else. I can't hold it all. And so this is, again, this clean up, clear out energy where relationships are being highlighted, our habits, our patterns, our beliefs, the roles that we're playing, all those types of things that are coming up with an opportunity to clear. Because this is an encouragement to continue to really seed those positive words, actions, and emotions into this wheel of karma. It's the message that says, may you reap wonderful experiences from all that you have sown, right? So remember that the least fluctuation occurs in the center of the wheel. So find your center. This goes so much with the Hermit energy of finding your inner light, of anchoring in, of coming into your body. This is message that's been coming through from so many people. Find your still point. right? Get grounded, come back into your body. These are all those messages of getting to the center of the wheel. And you can actually see how beautifully detailed this card is. I may have geeked out a time or two on this deck. Let's zoom in for a sec so you can really see what I'm talking about. It's so beautiful, and there's so many details here that are speaking to the wheel turning. But like I said, wheel within wheel within wheel. There's all of these things that are moving at all times, whether they're in our awareness or not. So again, stilling, coming into our body, is a perfect opportunity for us to find our center in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of change, right? So we have this energy coming in, and it's actually a nod to the Aztec calendar being used to track the turn of the season. So it just feels really aligned with the energies here, and a beautiful symbol of how we are growing as the wheel turns. So let's go ahead and wrap things up now with our Friday card. All right, Friday, wrapping it all up, we have this beautiful card, the Seven of Coins, that gave me a little wink at the beginning of the shuffle for our cards this week, and in fact did come out for Friday, which is wrapping up all this energy. But this is a card that a lot of people got either in their personal spreads this month or a message that had been coming up repeatedly. And as I say that, this is a message to you, hoo-hoo, because right away I heard my man Bob, because when I pulled this card in someone's reading, I was like, oh, there's two birds. And I thought, well, where's the third bird, right? The three little birds. And so this beautiful energy of Bob Marley, who is an amazing creative muse of mine personally, but brings forward, this is the joy energy. This has actually been on the altar all through March so far. I had brought it in intuitively at the beginning of the month to bring in the one love energy. Again, and this spray is still available. I will tell you, it's amazing. And I may or may not have a little hoard of these sprays because it is a limited offering, but there is still some available. It is like sunshine in a bottle. And it brings forward this creative energy, but also the not worrying about a thing, because no matter where you are in this growth process, right? You see the mature stalk here versus the seedlings. Knowing that the Seven of Coins talks to us about patience, about a pause, a time for reflection, to really look back over all that you have already seeded, what you have already brought forward. So this is a message about growth, nourishment, tending. You have planted seeds of intention. Now allow them to grow in their own time. Now, this is so aligned with the messages I shared for Little Self-Care Sunday when I shared those 4 cards from my Nature Speaks cards. Potential. Potential was the card that talks about, no matter how much we want to pry those petals open, right? Everything in divine timing, and knowing that there is this energy that's building and building of potential, and you may be in any stage of fruition of things that are coming forward now. And so don't worry, because wherever you are, there's a message here to really let yourself have gratitude and also pride for all that you have already come through. And remember that much of what you are holding now and what you've been surrounded by is something that you only dreamed of before, that you manifested in your life through your hard work, through your intentions. That if that's not quite yet where you wish to be, just recognizing and relishing all that you have created. And also, if you are coming to an ending of something and you're sort of feeling at odds about that, because sometimes walking away from something, we can have a sense of time wasted or, failure. Absolutely not. This is an opportunity for us to see how all of our experiences, all of the meandering that we did down different paths, all served us with some lesson, blessing, gift, knowledge that we now have, that we take with us as we move forward into the new that we are planting. So really saying, allow these things to grow in their own time. Lovingly nurture them, but don't force them to mature before they are ready to harvest. So this is also feeling a nod again to the seasons and the energy of wherever we are in the planting process, to embrace that and to allow ourselves to align with the frequency of joy. I love that big sun that I'm seeing there, because again, really, and yeah, the sun energy is bringing forward that fire, that heat, that action of creating through joy, through being your most authentic self. So I think there's just so many layers here to how beautiful it's depicted here, and the notion of Bob coming in here as well just really feels as, like I said, a creative muse for I have told my Bob story. Okay, I'm gonna tell it because I've talked it up. Okay, you may have heard this before if you've been with me for a while. One of the first times, Amanda, Angelic Celestial Colors, she had brought Bob into the Heart Squad, and she had this beautiful channeled session with him, and he was coming in onto my radar, you know, and I had Waiting in Vain in my head for days, the song that says, you know, it's been 3 weeks since I've been knocking on your door, and I still can knock some more, but I want to know, like, am I waiting in vain? And I was like, and this is before Grow in the Flow. This is when I would wake up and actually like journal for myself, which is something that I'm getting a little nudge right now from Bob, and a wink like, yeah, you should still do that. You should still be journaling for yourself, even though you're growing in the flow over here with your work and your creative energy as well. I was racking my brain about, note the brain, because I'm in my head thinking, what is this song? Why can't I get it out of my head? And then suddenly, because I was writing and allowing it to flow, I was connected in with the notion that it was my creative spirit that's been knocking on my door, that I wasn't opening up to, right? I was spending all this time analyzing in my head. And so Bob entered in with this message of, you know, your creative spirit, this aspect of you is here. Are you going to open the door, right? So here we have this message this week about doors not opening to us or closing or feeling out in the cold. And I'll even bring in some comparison-itis, because this brings us into the garden to go, well, how did their garden get so big over there and lush and beautiful? Like, what all do they got going on over there? Because I'm over here just sort of with my little seedlings and feeling inferior, right? That's exactly what this energy is. So I'm feeling a story that's weaving here. And like I said, these are collective messages. It may not be for everybody, but if there's a sense of you feeling behind or not clear on where you fit, or just still trying to find your way, the next thing that happened to me was with Bob on the brain and coming into my creative spirit starting to come in. I had always been told that I was going to be writing at least one book in this lifetime, and I haven't done it yet, but I feel that this work that I'm doing is actually starting that process. That I remember it was like way late in the late evening morning that I was brushing my teeth, and many times when I'm just sort of zoned out, and that's when these things will just hit, right? That's just when I get my creative impulses. Many of us get them when we're maybe just kind of going through the motions, whether it's like in the shower, washing dishes, brushing teeth, right? Just doing something mindless, right? Note that common thread is when we get out of our head, right? So I was having this thought that was, well, what am I supposed to write about? What is it going to be? Like, what, a book? Like, wow, I don't know anything about writing a book, and like thinking all these things. And I heard as clear as day in a Jamaican accent that I will not try to duplicate right now. However, it said, in order to begin, you've got to pick up the pen. And I was like, oh, yeah. That's true. Like, in order for me to begin, I have to pick up the pen, right? If I don't start writing, there will be no book or whatever it is that we wish to create. So, I just went on a total bunny trail, which seems appropriate because we're also bringing in the Easter energy at the end of the month and all the spring things. So thank you for indulging me if you've hung on to hear this personal share, but it just feels like bringing Bob in here inspired me to share with you the frequency of joy in creating, simply because it brings you joy. Pick up the pen, right, in order to begin whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be totally flushed out. It doesn't even have to be something that ever goes anywhere, but just right there with you in a place of feeling your inspiration, feeling your inner light, tending to that inner fire in order to create something that you are birthing into the world. So definitely feeling all of this Aries energy coming on in here with a quickness this week. So once again, thank you for being here. If you would like a personal card pull to go with these messages, just drop me a line. You can quick reply to the polo if you're here on the Sharecast. You can also reach out to me in any way that works for you. I'll be doing those card pulls here throughout the week. And again, if you would like to get in on the Equinox special, I'm going to put the link here for you to check out the offerings I have for either spring or autumn equinox. And we will be going much deeper into those aspects and ways you can work with that energy. And then, of course, tapping into your personal messages for this season. So thank you so much for being here. Sending you guys lots of love, many blessings. I look forward to connecting with you throughout this big week. Much love.